Hey, it's Emily here, and I'm here to inspire and empower you to make the impact that you want to make in the world. And in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you 4 ways that you can start to empower yourself today. It will be action steps you can implement right away. But before I get into this video, please take some time to hit the subscribe button and like this video and comment below any other content that you would like to see. So, getting into the video, how does one really empower themselves? And I had to think about this myself, from a lot of different aspects of my life. I've had to empower myself. I had to empower myself to leave the Amish community. I had to empower myself to get out of a toxic marriage. I empowered myself to get into powerlifting. I had to empower myself to go to college at full-time and work full-time as a single mom. And all these times, I had to really empower myself to do those things. There was really no one there holding, me accountable saying, do this, do this. I had to do it myself. And so what I have found in my life, anytime I need to empower myself, which is the steps I'm going to be sharing with you here, is 1, I cannot be in a victim mindset and empower myself at the same time. And if you haven't watched my other video on victim mindset versus empowerment, go and watch that first before you watch this, because it will help you to understand where you playing victim at and how you can change that. Because I still catch myself playing victim mindsets, even though I've done all this work. It's really easy to be in a victim mentality. And if that's happening, you can't be empowered. So that's your very first step, is checking your mindset, asking yourself, are you in an empowered mindset, or are you on a victim mindset? Or are you neutral? If you're neutral, then it's a little bit easier to empower yourself, but before you can empower yourself, you have to get out of that victim mindset. Tip number 2 is embracing your imperfections. This is a really, really hard one for me to do, was to embrace everything imperfect about me, because I was a perfectionist on many different levels. I wanted to be perfect at all these things, and my life is anything but perfect, but it's perfect for me. So when I say embrace your imperfections, that doesn't mean you have to stay stuck there. But when you embrace your imperfections and you're like, I'm just me, and this is how I'm going to show up, and I'm going to start showing up this true, authentic way, you start to empower yourself. And you really start to step into who you are as a person. And that's the amazing thing. You start showing up in different ways when you can embrace that you're not perfect, and that's okay. Like, you can still change even though you're never going to be perfect. No one is ever going to be perfect on earth. And so when you can understand that and embrace that, you really start to showing up in a different way for yourself. The next thing is start listening and trusting yourself. You are the only person that knows you. And regardless of what your family, your friends, or anyone tells you, you know yourself best. And at the end of the day, you really know who you are and what you want, what makes you feel empowered, and all the things on what really drives you. So start listening to that. Start listening to that inner voice that is empowering you and telling you to do big things and to go after it, and start trusting it. Because if you wouldn't have that voice telling you to go after it and do these things, it wouldn't be for you. And so oftentimes when we get this intuition or this guide or this download or whatever you want to call it, or this gut feeling that, oh, I need to do this because that would be awesome, but the fear holds us back, we get that feeling for a reason. It wasn't just put on our hearts for no reason. And I had to really start listening to myself, and it was not always easy. I couldn't listen to myself because honestly, I felt like I had failed so much that if I did listen to myself, I was just going to continue to fail. And now I can see that every failure and every setback was just a part of my story. And I hope you can see the same thing, regardless of how much you feel like you have messed up or failed or made mistakes or whatever it was. Just know, if you learned through that and you grew through that, it's really no mistakes or failures. And so start trusting yourself and really listening to yourself and honoring yourself. That's part of just listening to what you want and going after that. And then the biggest thing, the last tip is start believing in yourself. I cannot stress this enough. There has been so many times where I've had to believe in myself. I had to believe in myself that I can do this. I had to believe in myself that, I could overcome and that I could do these things and I would have the inner strength. And sometimes, and for me, I believe in a higher power, that I'm always guided and I'm always led. I had to tap into that belief just to be able to get through to it. Or if I had a really good friend that was believing in me, and when there was times that I couldn't believe in myself, I had to tap into that to start believing in myself. And so do the same thing. Find something where you can really start believing in yourself. Find little things that you're doing and that you've accomplished in your life where you can go back and you're like, wow, I really did that. And start believing in your own ability and your own potential. Because every single one of us, and you watching this video, you have so much potential and so much that you have to give and to offer to the world. But in order for you to get there, you have to believe in yourself. And I've found that just leaving the corporate world and taking this journey and writing my book, I've had to believe in myself. And there are days where the doubt comes up and it's really, really loud. But I have to quiet that noise. No one else can do that for me. I have to quiet that noise. And so take the time to really start believing in yourself and start stepping into who you are as a person and empowering yourself. Because it's really no one's job to empower you. You have to empower yourself. And yes, you can listen to all the motivational videos and read all the motivational books and all those things. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to take the action. You have to empower yourself to take the action to better your life. And that's why I am very passionate about inspiring and empowering you to take that action. So some of the action steps you can take today is, one, check your mindset. Ask yourself if you're coming from a victim mindset or if you're coming from an empowerment mindset. Regardless of what you are trying to accomplish in life, ask yourself that question. And if you're saying it's so hard, life is not fair, and you're into this poor negative mindset on any aspect of your life, check yourself, because it's not helping you. And another example of this is you could be an empowerment mindset on one part of your life, but not in the other part of your life. So when it came to powerlifting, I was very in an empowered mindset, right? Yep, I got this. I was confident I had it. But when it came into finishing school, I was struggling. And I was, man, this sucks. And I was in a victim mindset, but I had to switch it. So you can see different parts of your life will be at different areas. And that's okay. That's okay. But try to get your life to where you are more in an empowered mindset versus a victim mindset. 2, remember to embrace your imperfections. You are perfect the way you are. And when you embrace that, it doesn't matter where you are at. It doesn't matter if you're at your goal. It doesn't matter what you're doing. When you embrace that, then you start to show up as your true, authentic self. Regardless of what anyone else says to you, you truly embrace all of your imperfections. And this has been one of the biggest lessons that I have had to learn, because I always thought I would have like this perfect life and everything would just fall into place and, would look all beautiful. It's a beautiful mess. It's a beautiful mess, and I embrace that. And then start listening and trusting yourself. Really, you are the only one that knows what's in your heart, and you're the only one that knows you. Start listening to yourself and start believing in yourself. Set a small goal, work towards that, believe in yourself, be empowered. Because when you can empower yourself, you become unstoppable. And this is one of the reasons why I wrote a chapter of this in my book that I'm writing currently, is how to empower yourself and to take steps. And so these are just some of the tips that I have to take steps to start empowering yourself. So that way you can show up and you don't have to worry about anyone else empowering you, because at the end of the day, you have yourself. And if you can learn how to empower yourself, you'll become unstoppable. So if this video is helpful, like it, share it with a friend, comment below any other content that you would like to see, or if you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below.